Business as Unusual is a thought-provoking podcast that explores the innovative strategies, disruptive ideas, and unconventional practices driving successful leaders and companies in the ever-evolving world of modern business. Subscribe, comment, and share for weekly inspiration with our host, Aisala.
A superhero that works alone is a supervillain. I really don't know where I first heard that. I've tried to find it. And in some ways, it doesn't matter who said it. What matters is that it's true. And once I heard it, I really couldn't stop thinking about it. So that's what I want to talk about today. Why isolation isn't a power move, and what community actually means in practice, functionally, not just the idea of it. Many of us, especially in the U.S., grew up on a very specific mythology of success. The lone visionary, the solitary genius in the garage, the founder who saw what no one else could see and just willed it into existence. It's something I've talked about a lot recently. I get the appeal of that story. There's something genuinely inspiring about vision and commitment. It's incomplete, though, and more than incomplete, it's actually harmful because it trains us to treat isolation like a strength and community like a compromise. Like needing people is somehow a sign that your vision isn't solid enough or your execution isn't sharp enough. And really, that's just not true. I was watching the new Star Trek movies. They're kind of old now, but the ones with Chris Pine. And there's a moment in one of them, I think it's the second one, where Kirk gets completely fixated on something he's decided he needs to do. Everyone around him, whose judgment he's trusted for years, who is close to him, is saying, no, this is not the thing. And he does it anyway. And here's the thing, like, in those movies, that's a tell. You know it's going to go poorly because he is overriding his people. And I think that's a really good example of our stories showing us the ways in which our people and our team can really be an important reminder and mirror for us. And when someone starts going around the people they trust, the people who've been there, had their back, been beside them, that's a tell. Something is definitely off. It's a tell for you. If the people that you trust are questioning you, you really need to look at what you're doing. The decision almost doesn't matter at that point. It's that act of overriding everyone that can be a problem. Our stories can remind us of the power of community, or they can make us suspicious of it. And a lot of the ones that we've inherited in the U.S. Do the latter. So when community is actually working, it's both support and governance. We all have blind spots, more than one probably, but definitely some. And we all have moments when our better instincts get drowned out by pain, exhaustion, a really bad week, bad information. In those moments, the people around you are the thing that holds you to your values when you cannot access them yourself. And that's what ethics are, right? A way to operationalize your values when you're too close to the situation to see clearly. In the energy equation, I talk about connection energy, momentum, and creativity. And connection energy is often misunderstood. It gets reduced to the warm, fuzzy bonus you enjoy when things are going well. And it is that. It has also infrastructure as well as a resource that makes all of this other work really sustainable. When it's low, when you're isolated, when your community is thinned out, when you're operating without people who will tell you the truth, everything else starts to cost more. Decisions get harder. The work gets heavier. You could be doing all the right things and still feel like you're pushing against something you can't name. That often is connection energy running low. I was really lucky in how I came into leadership. My first real leadership role was as executive director in a nonprofit, which meant that I had a team, my board, from day one. I could call them. And there were plenty of times when I reached out to my board president, who is my main point of contact, to say, here's everything I'm trying to do. I don't have enough time. Help me figure out what matters most. And she would. And when I felt strongly about something, we'd butt heads. And then we'd have to come to a better solution than I would have reached alone. They kept the larger mission in view when the day-to-day would pull me toward things that were good or useful, but maybe not the best use of what I had available, or maybe they weren't actually in service of what we were trying to build. I didn't know at the time how much that was really shaping how I work. I just thought that was how leadership operated. You work with other people, you take in their perspective, you build with it in collaboration, you butt heads until you sort out where the rough edges are and get to the best solution. That expectation has given me a huge advantage that I don't take for granted. There's a version of this that looks like community and it isn't. Having people around you is not the same as having a community or having your own justice league. There was a period of time in my life where I had a large group of people around me and I thought I had that community of support and accountability. And then I ran into some situations where I reached out and it was revealed to me these people really weren't grounded in their values. They didn't have the courage to share their actual thoughts. So while I was surrounded by people, it was a lot more like working alone. It looked frictionless. And frictionless isn't always a good sign. Sometimes frictionless means nothing real is happening. Surrounding yourself with agreement is actually closer to the villain setup than the hero one. You need people who are strong enough to tell you when they think you're wrong, and committed enough to your values that they'll hold you to them when you can't see that you're straying. They also have to be secure enough in the relationship that they don't disappear when you push back or things get hard. Conflict isn't really a problem. Fake agreement is. A friend of mine talks about building her Justice League, and I think that's a great frame. A network is who you know. A league is who will show up, speak up, and stay when it's uncomfortable. It's a different thing to build. It requires creating real safety for honesty and communicating around it, and tolerating the friction that comes with people who actually have a perspective. Building it is part of the work. It's not a bonus task. My question this week is, who is that for you? Who keeps you grounded? Not just who cheers you on, who actually keeps you from going full supervillain when a bad week hits. That person or those people are doing some really important work in your business and your life. And if you don't have them yet, build intentionally. Don't just hope it happens. Connection energy is one of the 3 types measured in the energy snapshot. If this lands with you, it's a great place to start. Just takes a couple minutes. Bicurean.com/energy snapshot. Links in the show notes.
Thank you for tuning in to Business as Unusual. Remember, in this ever-evolving world of modern business, it's not about fitting in. It's about standing out. See you next time. Stay curious, stay innovative, and always keep it unusual.
I hope you enjoy the show. I love making it. If you did enjoy it, consider hopping over to the review portion of the platform you listen on and letting other people know about it. Or share the episode or the entire show with a friend or subscribe to the show. Definitely reach out, get on my newsletter, follow me on social media, and let me know what you like, what you don't like, and what you'd like to see in the future. Well, we love our guests. Appearance on the Business as Unusual podcast or any Bicurean consulting production is for information purposes only and is not to be considered an endorsement of their business practices, or character. Please properly vet anyone you find through this podcast and generally before you do any business with them. Thank you for listening.